In the Hebrew Bible, the name Azazel appears in association with the scapegoat rite. The name represents a desolate place where a scapegoat bearing the sins of the Jews during Yom Kippur was sent. During the end of the Second Temple period, its association as a fallen angel responsible for introducing humans to forbidden knowledge emerged due to Hellenization, Christian narrative, and interpretation, exemplified in the Book of Enoch. His role as a fallen angel partly remains in Christian and Islamic traditions. In the Hebrew Bible, the term is used thrice in Leviticus 16, where 2 male goats were to be sacrificed to Yahweh, and one of the two was selected by lot, where Yahweh is seen as speaking through the lots. One goat is selected by lot and then sent into the wilderness for Azazel. This goat was then cast out in the desert as part of Yom Kippur. Scapegoat ritual can be traced back to 24th century BC, where it spread throughout the ancient Near East. In older English versions, such as the King James Version, the phrase Azazel is translated as scapegoat. However, in the most modern English Bible translations, it is represented as a name in the text. Aaron shall offer the bull as a sin offering for himself, and shall make atonement for himself and for his house. He shall take the 2 goats and set them before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And Aaron shall cast lots on the 2 goats, one lot for the Lord, and the other lot for Azazel. Aaron shall present the goat on which the lot fell for the Lord, and offer it as a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell for Azazel shall be presented alive before the Lord to make atonement over it, that it may be sent away into the wilderness to Azazel. Apparently interpreting Azazel as rugged and of God, one can understand it to refer to the rugged and rough mountain cliff from which the goat was cast down. Gesenius also thought the term referred to the object, and he mandated the name to utter removal, theoretically the name of a demon. However, neither this demon nor the root are attested. Azel means to be gone, used up, or exhausted, and the contradiction could simply mean the goat that is expended. Azazel is mentioned in most mainline religions throughout the ages. In Greek mythology it was understood as meaning the sent away. It bore a similar meaning in Judaism and Islam all the way back to the medieval ages. Isn't it kinda terrifying that all these demons seem to be spoken about so much since time began, and can it be a coincidence that the accounts and stories are so similar? The Book of Enoch brings Azazel into connection with the biblical story of the fall of the angels, located on Mount Hermon, a gathering place of demons of old. Here Azazel is one of the leaders of the rebellious watchers in the time preceding the flood. He taught men the art of warfare, of making swords, knives, shields, and coats of mail, and taught women the art of deception by ornamenting the body, dyeing the hair, and painting the face and the eyebrows, and also revealed to the people the secrets of witchcraft and corrupted their manners, leading them into wickedness and impurity until at last he was, at Yahweh's command, bound hand and foot by the archangel Raphael and chained to the rough and jagged rocks of Dudale, where he is to abide in utter darkness until the great day of judgment, when he will be cast into the fire to be consumed forever. In the Book of Enoch it said the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. According to the Book of Enoch, Azazel was one of the chief Grigori, a group of fallen angels who married women. Many believe that this same story, without any mention of Azazel, is told in the Book of Genesis. And it came to pass that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also afterward, where the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. These sons of God have often been thought of as fallen angels, and are sometimes equated with the Nephilim. On the other hand, it has also been argued that the phrase refers only to pious men, or else that it should be translated the sons of the rulers. Enoch portrays Azazel as responsible for teaching people to make weapons and cosmetics, for which he was cast out of heaven. The Book of Enoch reads, And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth, and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelid, and all kinds of costly stones, and all colouring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. The corruption brought on by Azazel and the Grigori degrades the human race, and the four archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. The souls of men made their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were in heaven, which men were striving to learn. God sees the sin being brought about by Azazel, and has Raphael bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is Dudale, and cast him therein, and placed him upon rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face, that he may not see light. Azazel's fate is foretold near the end of Enoch, where God says, On the day of the great judgment, he shall be cast into the fire. Several scholars have previously discerned that some details of Azazel's punishment are reminiscent of the scapegoat rite. Thus, Lester Grab points to a number of parallels between the Azazel narrative in Enoch and the wording of Leviticus 16, including the similarity of the names Azazel and Azael, the punishment in the desert, the placing of sin on Azazel, the resultant healing of the land. Daniel Stoic also observes that the punishment of the demon resembles the treatment of the goat in aspects of geography, action, time, and purpose. Thus, the place of Azazel's punishment, designed in Enoch as Dudale, is reminiscent of the rabbinic terminology used for the designation of the ravine of the scapegoat in later rabbinic interpretations of the Yom Kippur ritual. Stoic remarks that the name of the place of judgment, Dudale, is conspicuously similar in both traditions and can be likely traced to a common origin. Azazel has been compared to the Greek titan Prometheus. He might be a demonized counterpart of a heavenly creature who provided knowledge for people to make weapons, thus causing bloodshed and injustice. The latter might be identified with Greek kings and generals who suppressed the Jews with military forces, but learned how to make their weapons by this specific expelled creature. In the 5th century, Azazel is one of 3 angels, Asa, Uzzah, and the other 2, who opposed Enoch's high rank when he became the angel Metatron. Whilst they were fallen at this time, they were still in heaven, but Metatron held a dislike for them and had cast them out. In the Apocalypse of Abraham, Azazel is portrayed as an unclean bird who came down upon the sacrifice which Abraham prepared. This is in reference to Genesis, in which it stated that birds of a prey came down on the carcasses, but Abraham drove them away. And the unclean bird spoke and said to me, What are you doing, Abraham, on the holy height, where no one eats or drinks, nor is there upon them food for men? But these all will be consumed by fire, and ascend to the height, they will destroy you. And it came to pass, when I saw the bird speaking, I said this to the angel, What is this, my lord? And he said, This is disgrace, this is Azazel. And he said to him, Shame on you, Azazel, for Abraham's portion is in heaven, and yours is on earth, for you have selected here and become enamoured of the dwelling place of your blemish. Therefore the eternal ruler, the mighty one, has given you a dwelling on earth. Through you the all-evil spirit was a liar, and through you come wrath and trials on the generations of men who live impulsively. The text also associates Azazel with the serpent and hell. In chapter 23 verse 7 it is described as having 7 heads, 14 faces, hands and feet like a man's, and on his back had 6 wings. Abraham says that the wicked will putrefy in the belly of the crafty worm Azazel, and he burned by the fire of Azazel's tongue, and earlier says to Azazel himself, May you be the firebrand of the furnace of the earth. Go, Azazel, into the untrodden parts of the earth, for your heritage is over those who are with you. Here there is the idea that God's heritage, the created world, is largely under the dominion of evil. It said it is shared with Azazel, again identifying him with Satan, who was called the prince of this world by Jesus Christ himself.